We have listened to the wishes of our customers to make the next generation of stoves. A stove that can burn through the night, that can turn itself on and off, and that can warm up your home even while you were asleep or you were not at home. So we have combined the best from pellet stoves with the best from wood-burning stoves in order to make a new stove that is cozy and practical at the same time, where it's super easy to swap between pellets and firewood, and that can light the logs with pellets. When burning firewood, you can expect a modern wood-burning stove with a standard chimney connection and air supply, just like any other wood stove, primary, secondary, and tertiary air. In addition, the stove is equipped with a complete pellet system. The unique feature of a hybrid stove is that pellets are led upwards through two augers, so the pellets do not fall into a funnel, but are pushed up slowly from below. This means a more quiet operation, without the classic sound of pellets falling in. Ding, ding, ding. This is where pellets end up, to be ignited behind the burning cave. And down here, pellets are collected slowly and burn at the same level as firewood. This makes cleaning the stove easier, because you do not have to access a different compartment just to clean the stove. You can simply scrape the ashes straight into the ash drawer. With this damper, you activate the Aduro automatic for when you are burning firewood. This is used every time you load up your wood to get more air. The damper will automatically close over a period of 6 minutes, and it works without electricity. That means that you are able to use the stove with wood, even though the electricity is gone. Bear in mind that you will need electricity to burn pellets in the stove. When using the stove with pellets and not firewood, you may want to push this damper back to close the air supply for wood. If you're not planning to use pellets, there's a damper hidden in here, which you may close. When this damper is closed, you will not be able to use the pellet function. Instead, the stove has a slightly higher efficiency with the firewood. To load the hybrid stove with pellets, you have to use the funnel, which came with the stove. You open to the pellet container, which can contain 15 kilos of pellets. That's between 8 and 30 hours operation, depending on the power setting. Only use 6mm pellets that are approved and comply with the European norm. It is also a good idea to try out different brands to find the ones that work best with your stove. Place the funnel here, support it here, and then we are ready. The type of pellets also means a lot for the stove's noise level. Compressed pellets will often make a little more noise as they travel up the auger, as some of them will break on the way up. Aduro Hybrid stove works with a 150mm flue pipe and a standard wood stove chimney installation. It demands a good and stable chimney draft, 10 to 15 Pascal. That is essential to ensure that all the smoke goes away. You can check if the chimney draft is sufficient by holding a flame up against the edge of the door. If you open the door slightly, and the flame is sucked toward the combustion chamber, the chimney draft is sufficient. If your chimney draft is not sufficient, we have the solution. It is our chimney fan Aduro Draft Optimizer. It can be connected to the hybrid stove to start and stop automatically when the stove needs it. You can operate the stove in two ways. You can control it at the control panel in the bottom of the stove, or you can control it using our app. The app has a simple user interface. To use the app, it is crucial to have a strong and stable Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you will not get a good connection to the stove. The app shows if the stove is burning or if it is stopped. It tells you about the current heat level and how high the smoke temperature is. This bar shows the CO level, a security feature, which measures if smoke is traveling backwards in the system. If you press here, you can select between heat level 1, 2, or 3, or you can choose if the stove should be controlled by the room temperature. For now, I will set it to heat level 2, and then we will start up the stove. Here, you will see that the status changes to power, which means it is starting and running a startup program. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes until flames are showing in the stove. After this, the stove will warm up to the heat level of your choice. When turning on the stove, the combustion chamber will be filled with smoke until ignition starts. After that, flames will come and the smoke will disappear. The flame will build up over approximately 20 minutes until it reaches the wanted heat level. When burning pellets, the stove is not completely silent. You can hear the pellets traveling in the auger and the internal fan. You can expect no more noise than a dishwasher. There will be a small difference in the noise level, depending on the pellet type, when the pellets might break. When you use the hybrid stove with firewood, it will be completely quiet. If you want to swap from pellets to firewood, you can just open the door and lay a piece of wood on the fire. The stove will find out by itself that it is being used with firewood. When loading firewood while burning pellets, it is important that the door is not open for more than 3 minutes. Otherwise, the stove will shut down. Every time you load firewood, open this air inlet so the firewood gets plenty of air and the glasses do not soot. After the firewood has been properly ignited and the smoke temperature reaches 275 degrees, the stove will automatically turn off the pellet function. Now the stove will be silent, and you can enjoy the quiet heat of firewood. When the flames are out, you can open the door, put on firewood, and activate Aduro Tronic. It will automatically close the air inlet when the firewood is burning well. If now or later you want to use pellets, you can program it in the app. Start the pellet function, and when the temperature reaches 100 degrees, the hybrid stove pellet function will automatically start. The app will flash green because the stove was waiting for the temperature to cool down to start burning pellets again. You can use the pellet function to light firewood, put pieces of firewood into the combustion chamber, use the app to start, and the pellets will ignite the firewood. If you want to use the pellet function for several consecutive days, it is important that you occasionally scrape dirt and ash out of the burning cave. You can do this while the pellet function is on. It is also recommended to do a proper cleaning of the stove when it is cold. You have to use a tong and an ash poker to scrape out the dirt. I will now show you how to clean the hybrid stove. For that, you may want to use our companion set, Aduro Proline 3. I start by scraping the ash into the ash drawer. Then I remove the burning cave to remove ash and dirt from here. And I use the broom. Make sure to clean thoroughly so that the burning cave can get back into its correct position when it is sealed. Now we have to empty the ash drawer. It is a good idea to put it into a bag in which you can carry it out to prevent it from leaving dust all over your living room. Depending on which pellets you use, how well you fire, and how much firewood you use, you have to vacuum the auger. Here we do it approximately once per week. We use an ash vacuum cleaner and some kitchen towel to ensure an optimal seal. After vacuuming the stove, we have to clean the glass. For this, we have a special sponge called Aduro Easy Clean. After cleaning the glass, you clean the sponge by tapping it against the vermiculite. Now the stove is clean and ready for many hours of use. We hope that with these tips, you will get the most out of your hybrid stove.